Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's State Government Committee for Tuesday, March the 15th. That Colton, Mr. Clerk, will you take the roll, see if we have a quorum, please?
Representatives Alexander, Beck, Bricken, Carr, Carringer, Chisholm, Cooper, Halford, Helton, Holsclaw, Holsey, Jernigan, Johnson, Littleton, Marsh, Moon, Powell, Wendell, Vice Chairman Eldridge, Chairman Kiesling. Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
All right, boy, we do, don't we? We've got a full, just about everyone here today, and a full house here, watching, viewing. Okay, thank you. And again, we want to let's see. We're going to give you members an opportunity. Are there any of you that have any personal orders or announcements? And of course, we do. Yes, Chairman Wendell, you're recognized.
Chairman, I'm going to defer to you to introduce our mutual friend.
Well, it is a pleasure to have our mayor from the beautiful city of Livingston. That's in House District 41, beautiful House District 41, with us today. Would you please stand, Mayor Curtis? All right. Thank you. Thank you for being with us, Mayor. Yes, Representative Alexander, you're recognized, ma'am.
Thank you, Chairman. I was just going to say it certainly is good to see our leader, Lamberth, here. That means his little boy must be doing okay.
Yeah,
Praise
great.
God.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Yes, Chairman Halford, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd just like to welcome my seatmate to my right back to duty,
Yes.
you know. So
Absolutely.
Dale Carr, it's good to have you back again.
Thank you.
Oh, we hadn't. Yes, sir. Thank you for doing that. We hadn't forgot that. We were going to get around to that, though. So, Dale, thank you, brother. Thank you for being back. Appreciate you. All right, Representative Beck, you are recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to recognize my shadow for the week, Stanley Davis. Stand up, Stanley. Make him welcome,
All right.
please.
Thank you. Thank you for being with us, Mr. Davis. Any further announcements? Personal order? Yes, we do. Representative Chisholm, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. I saw a sea of black and gold walk into the room, so I wanted to give a shout out to the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else? Yes, we do. Representative Cooper, you're recognized. If you're a teacher, she is asking for you to raise your hand, please. Yes, we do. We have teachers here. All right. Very good. Thank you, Representative Cooper. All right, here we go. We've got, we never, ever want to forget this day in history, March 15th. We're going to begin with the year 1767. Our son, Andrew Jackson, was born on this day, military hero and 7th U.S. president. He was the first, by the way, BTW, to come from the west of the Appalachians and to first to gain office by direct appeal to the mass of voters. That's interesting. Let's move on to 1869. There is someone on this, there is a member of this committee, I'm sure, that can answer this question. We're going to see if anyone knows the answer to this. Today, in 1869, was the day that the first baseball team was organized. The first baseball team was organized. The partners were George Ellard and Harry Wright. And not too far from here was the city that this first baseball team was on. Can anyone name the city for the first baseball team? It was about 3 hours north of here, 3 hours and 15 minutes. It was Cincinnati. The Cincinnati Red Stockings, that was their name. And finally, 1972, The Godfather, a 3-hour epic chronicling the lives of an Italian-American crime family, is released in theaters. The Godfather, the movie, has remained perennial choice on critics' list of the all-time best films in history. And that, members, is our today's history. Let us move on to item number 1 on your calendar. Our attention to the calendar. That'll be item, as I say, House Bill 2668. And that we have a motion and a second. And Chairman Zachary, it is an honor to have you today. You are number 1 on today's top 40, sir. You are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Committee. It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to carry this bill on behalf of Speaker Sexton. I appreciate his continued support of our law enforcement. This simply puts TWRA and TBI officers and the commissioned officers in the same posture as the Highway Patrol, taking them from 25 years of service with 80% of scheduled premium and defined contribution. Be glad to answer any questions.
Certainly. All right. You have heard the sponsor describe House Bill 2668. Any questions? Any questions to Chairman Zachary? Are we ready for the question? Yes, got a call for the question. We're ready to vote. Let us vote on House Bill 2668. Those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Ayes have it. Chairman, you are off to the races to Finance, Ways and Means, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Committee.
At this time, we are going to, if there's no objection, we're going to go out of session. I am going to pass the gavel down to our chairman, Chairman Eldridge. Chairman Eldridge, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And before we get started here, it's nice to see some faces from East Tennessee, Miss Yoakum and Jesse Seals. We're glad you're here. At this time, we're going to go back into session. We are taking up HJR 675. We have a motion and a second. Chairman Kiesling, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. And it is an honor, indeed, an honor for me to present to you Ms. Eleanor Yoakum with House Joint Resolution 675. I would like to ask, Mr. Chairman, if I am not, wouldn't be out of order, I would like to ask Ms. Yoakum to, if she would, to come forward and please sit down at the table. She does not have to identify herself. That is already, we've already taken care of that. But just in case there might be some, following my presentation, any questions that that anyone may have of the committee to Ms. Yoakum. But I'll begin. She's being appointed members to serve as a member of our Board of Directors of the Tennessee Education Lottery Corporation. Her term will end on June 30, 26. Eleanor currently serves as chairman of First Century Bank in Tazewell, where she resides. Presently, she is also serving her second term on the Tennessee State Museum Commission and is a member of the Board of Directors of the East Tennessee Historical Society, Omnivision, Heritage Christian Academy, and the Lincoln Institute Board. She graduated ESTU with a degree, with a degree in speech and hearing therapy. She was the first woman to serve on the 8-state Burley Auction Tobacco Board and was appointed to the Federal Advisory Board on Tobacco by President George H.W. Bush. In 1990, she was elected president of the First Century Bank and served as the Commissioner of Personnel for the state of Tennessee from 1996 to 1999. And that is where Eleanor and I crossed paths, and we have known each other since that time. Also, she served as Chief Executive Officer to the governor from 99 to 02. Eleanor served for 2 terms on both the Tennessee Arts Commission and the Board of Professional Responsibility. She also has served on the Tennessee Higher Ed Commission and the East Tennessee State Foundation Board and Alumni Boards. She graduated Leadership Knoxville 2006, and has served as the president of the Walter State Foundation Board from 2010 to 11, and as secretary of the St. Mary's Hospital Board from 08 to 11. She was named the East Tennessee State University Alumni of the Year in 1999. She, many of you may remember, maybe not, but I remember very well. Her husband is the former commissioner of ECD, Bill Donovan, and blessings to Bill. Eleanor, if you would, please give him that from us. And again, I still want to call you Commissioner, Eleanor. I still do. I want to do that. But anyway, God bless you for being here. God bless you for, well, anyway, thanks to send our thanks to Bill for sharing you with us and on this board. And we do appreciate you agreeing to do that. With that, back to you, Chairman Eldridge.
Thank you, Chairman Kiesling. We've heard the confirmation resolution. Is there any questions of the sponsor or of Ms. Yoakum? Question's been called on the bill. All in favor of HJR 675, say aye.
All right.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. You are confirmed.
Now, what, Eleanor, do you have anything you'd like to?
Oh.
Wait just a minute.
Go ahead.
Scoot up. I'm sorry. I should have instructed you.
Thank you. I just appreciate your confidence, and I will try for 4 more years to be a really good lottery board member. And Representative Keesley, I feel like you've just read my obituary. I do not know where you got that, but I want everybody to know that I did not send that to him.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Chairman Kiesling, you move out to calendar and rules. We're back out of session. I'll pass the gavel back to the chairman.
Okay, we are now back in session. Chairman Eldridge, thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Members, let us move on to item number 3, House Bill 2728, and that is by our leader, Lambert. And leader, I see you have got a motion and a second, but I also see you have an amendment following that. If you would give us that tracking code or drafting code, please.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. It should be Amendment Code 014785. And Mr. Chairman, Representative Alexander was kind enough to mention my son a while ago. For those that wonder what happened, I don't mind sharing it. He's 10 years old. And yesterday, while we were on the House floor, I got a text message from my wife saying she was at the ER with our little boy, Pierce. And so overnight, we spent a good portion of the night at Sumner Regional Medical Center. He had an emergency appendectomy. So he's being discharged right now. I'll probably brag him on the floor tomorrow, but Sumner Regional Medical Center and Susan Peach, who runs that, and everybody, they all did a great job. And they got that appendix out of there. Apparently, according to the doctors, the only thing that an appendix is good for is to get inflamed and have to be removed at some juncture in your life. So he's in good shape. And thank you for your prayers and for those that were praying overnight and that kind of stuff. If I say something that is not directly on the bill today, please understand I'm only operating on a couple hours sleep. So y'all hang with me. Thank you. But yes, Mr. Chairman, that amendment makes a bill.
Prayers will continue with your son. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank
Okay, we that tracking code is correct. Members, do I have a motion? Let's get that on the bill. Motion and a second on that. Any questions on the amendment to the sponsor? Then I see none, and got a call for the question. Let's get this one on the bill. So those in favor of Amendment 1, tracking code 14785, please say aye. Those opposed, like sign. Ayes have it. We're on you now. We've got you loaded up, leader, and you are recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members, one of the simplest bills you'll see all year. A court reporter who is on contract to a courtroom. Those used to be state employees years and years ago. Apparently, they're not now. Most of them are contract court reporters. If one of them is sued based on their duties in that courtroom, this says the Attorney General's office can represent them as if they were a state employee. This doesn't happen very often, but it did happen to a court reporter in our district. I just assumed they would be represented by the Attorney General's office. When we reached out, we were told, no, sorry, the statute actually doesn't allow for that. This would allow for it. I believe the fiscal note is not significant because it just doesn't happen very often.
Sure. Okay, you members, you've heard an explanation of the bill. Any questions to the sponsor? Got a call for the question. Thank you for that. And we're ready to vote. Let us vote. Those in favor, House Bill 2728, please say aye. Pose like sign. Got it. Ayes have it. Thank you, Leader Lambert. You are off to calendar and rules, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee.
Congrats. Thank you, sir. Now, we're going to go out of order. Members, go to item, if you would, please turn to item 17. Please, item 17. And with the Chair Lady Hazelwood has agreed to allow Chairman Williams at this time to precede her because of timing commitment, I think, Chairman Williams. So with that, this is House Bill 2275. We got a motion and a second. We also, though, we got an amendment with that, don't we, Chairman?
Yes, sir. Drafting code 013902.
You got it. And so that looks like it rewrites the bill. Give me a motion and a second. Got a motion and a second on that. Questions to the sponsor on the amendment right now? I don't see any. Got a call for the question. Let's get it on. Those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, like sign. Ayes have it. It's now on the bill. Chairman Williams, you are recognized. Thank you for being with us today, sir.
Thank you, Chairman and members. Thank you, Chairman, for allowing me to go out of order. In full transparency, I did not ask the Chair Lady of Finance if I could go before her. Had I known that, I would have not done that. But I did. I appreciate her indulgence in the chairs as well. But the reason why I did ask to go out of order, all unrelated to the bill, is I do have a leadership group here, Impact Leadership from the Upper Cumberland, that represents not just my district, but John Mark Wendell's and Speaker Sexton's as well. And so I'd hope you make them welcome. They've been up here today to see how the good work of the people is being done. So
Great.
if you guys would
Let's welcome
them. Thank you.
Thank you for being with us. Okay.
Yes, thank you. The bill as amended was brought to me by my local EMS director, Tommy Copeland. In Putnam County and all across the state, many of you may know that EMS workers or EMTs are very hard to find. What this bill would allow for a temporary return to work for 120 days for those people who have already retired. This bill came through Pensions and Insurance and has the approval of Pensions and Insurance with a positive recommendation. It would just allow them to come back to employ for a short period of time. There are several bills that we heard from in Pensions and Insurance that would do this. What makes this different is it ends in 2025. So it's an idea that we can get these people back to work and get people back in our ambulance services to provide services to our community. With that description, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Good job. Good explanation. Yes, we do. Representative Alexander, you are recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. I just appreciate you so much bringing this bill. We had a similar bill last night on the floor for retired teachers and bus drivers. And we need to get these people back to work when we have holes that we can't fill. So thank you so much.
Very good. Thank you. Further questions or comments to the sponsor? Got a question called on the bill. Very good. Let us vote. Those in favor of House Bill 2275 as amended, please say aye. Those opposed, like sign. Ayes have it.
Thank you, Chairman and members.
And Chairman, you are on to calendar and rules.
Thank you, Chairman and members, and Chair Lady Hazelwood as well. Thank you.
Yes. All right. Everyone needs to be a friend of the chair ladies. And with that, we're going to now bring her forward, if she would. Please come forward. Is there anything we could get for you, chair lady? A drink, coffee, Danish, maybe?
I just hope to feel this love after the budget.
All righty. We're, as I said, item number 4, House Bill 1961. And Chair Lady, you are recognized. We got a motion and a second.
Thank you, Mr.
With
Chairman.
that, you may proceed, please.
This is a very simple bill, truly. Last year, I'm sure you remember, a critical bill that we passed, changing the Council on Pensions and Insurance to just the Council on Pensions, where that council was no longer going to look at insurance matters. We forgot there were some other parts of the statute that had that reference in it. So this simply deletes those to make it clear that any bills dealing with insurance no longer go to what was formerly the Council on Pensions and Insurance. That council simply now deals with pension matters.
Good. Okay. Very good. Questions to the sponsor? You've heard the explanation. Got a question call. Good. Let us see no objections. Let us vote then on House Bill 1961. Those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, like sign. Ayes have it. Thank you, Chair Lady. You are on to CNR, calendar and rules.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right, to attention all, item number 5, please make note, item number 5, House Bill 2743 has been requested to be rolled 1 week. Moving on to item number 6, House Bill 2382. Chairman Boyd, thank you for being with us. And come right on up. We've got already a motion and a second for you, sir. And I see you have an amendment. If you would, please give us that drafting code, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That is drafting code. Stand by for just a minute, sir.
Take your time.
See. Drafting code 014489, Mr. Chairman.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. So, all right, let's talk about that amendment. It does rewrite the bill. Is that correct, sponsor?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, very good. Have a motion and a second. Let's get it on the bill. Do we have a motion and a second? We do. We have a motion and a second. Questions to the sponsor on the amendment? None at the present. Got a call for the question. Let's get it on. Those in favor of Amendment 11489, please say aye. Opposed, like sign. Ayes have it. It is now on the bill. And Chairman, you're recognized for an explanation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman of the committee. House Bill 2382 comes to me from the treasurer. And what this would do is it would establish a reserve account within the Tennessee Consolidated Retirement System Trust Fund, hopefully that the governor will fund with one-time money for purposes of veterans programs in the TCRS. And I actually have a companion bill with this that I normally run first and kind of gives you an explanation on why this bill is necessary. But this is a pretty simple explanation of what this bill does, Mr.
Very good. Thank you, sir. You have heard an explanation. Questions to the sponsor? Members, question? Got a call for the question. Let us vote. Those in favor of House Bill 2382 as amended, please say aye. Those opposed, like sign. Ayes have it. And Chairman, you stay put, but this one is going on to, where is it going? It's going to Finance, Ways and Means. All right. That takes us to next one, number 7, House Bill 1852, also by Chairman Boyd. No amendments here, members. Chairman Boyd, you're recognized. Got a motion and a second. You're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Committee. House Bill 1852 establishes a mechanism by which veterans of the U.S. Armed Forces that have served since 1975 will be able to buy time in the Tennessee Consolidated Retirement System. So to give you just a little bit of history, if you served in the armed forces prior to 1975 and you entered state or local service in Tennessee that was covered by TCRS, the time was actually just given to you. So at the end of your first year, you were actually 5 years into your retirement. That stopped after 1975, and we've never really addressed that again, with the exception of state or local employees that are in the National Guard that get called up temporarily to deploy. And so what this bill does is it creates kind of a modern version to address those people that have served since then. And so just like we've created a new pension since then, this one is going to be a little bit different. So rather than the state or local government eating the cost of this would require the employee to buy up to 4 years of service at a cost of 9% of what their current salary is. And so if they were working somewhere and they were making $50,000 a year, to buy 1 year of service would cost them 9% of that. And they could do that for up to 4 years. And it tightens it up a little bit. So it's not for every day of active duty service from 1975 on. It addresses certain periods of what we determine to be armed conflict. And that's outlined in the bill. Mr. Chairman, I can't think of anything else to tell you about the bill. I'll take any questions.
You did a good job in explaining. Questions to the sponsor? Yes, we do. Representative Beck, you're recognized.
Thank you, and thank you, sponsors. It's a great idea. Let me ask you about the time periods. So, for example, multinational force in Lebanon from 8/21/82 to 2/26/84. So that's just if you were called up on active duty during those periods of time, or if you were a member of the Guard for those periods of time.
Chairman Boyd.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It would be active service during that time. So if you were drilling Woodwick in a month or on your summer camp or something, that wouldn't count. You'd have to be on active duty for that period of time.
Representative Beck.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Further questions to the sponsor? Got a call for the question. All right, let us vote. House Bill 1852. Those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, like sign. Ayes have it. And Chairman, you are on your way to Finance, Ways and Means, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman,
Congratulations.
committee.
Come back and see us when time allows, sir. All right, that takes us to item number 8. We've got a motion and a second. That would be Chairman Russell, the most active person on Facebook that I have ever seen in my life. He is all over the map over there in his district. You have an amendment. Before we can proceed, though, let's talk about that amendment. What is that tracking code, Chairman Russell?
Thank you, Chairman. The amendment number 014249.
Very good. That is correct. And yes, we have a motion and a second on this. Any questions to the sponsor regarding the amendment? See none, and we got a call for the question. Let us vote on the amendment 14249. Get it on the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Opposed, like sign. Ayes have it. It is now on House Bill 1722. Chairman Russell, you are recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. And House Bill 1722 is pretty simple. It just allows a retired member of the Tennessee Consolidated Retirement System to cancel the selected designation of a beneficiary upon written request and just assign a new one. Apparently, that can only be done right now for 2 reasons. One's a divorce or one's a death. And this just changes that to
Very
allow
good.
a new
Thank you.
beneficiary.
Thank you, sir. Good explanation. All right, questions to the sponsor? See none, got a call for the question. Good. Let us vote. Those in favor, House Bill 1722 as amended, please say aye. Those opposed, like sign. Ayes have it. Thank you, Chairman. Stay put. But on this one, you are going to calendar and rules.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item 9, members, House Bill 1658, already a motion and a second by Chairman Russell. We also on this one, we have an amendment. Could you please give us the drafting code for the record, Chairman?
Thank you, Chairman. It's 014964.
That is correct. We thank you for that motion. We have a motion and a second on the amendment. Any questions to the sponsor on the amendment at this time? See none. We have a call for the question. Let us vote on amendment 014964. Those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, like sign. Ayes have it. Now on the bill, and with that, Chairman Russell, our attention is to you, sir.
Thank you, Chairman. House Bill 1658 gives an hour-for-hour retirement credit for TCRS members that work during the state of emergency. These employees were not allowed to work remotely due to their work responsibilities with the state and local governments. We often tell our frontline workers that we appreciate them. Today is an opportunity to show we appreciate them with a vote in favor of this bill. With that, Mr. Chairman, I renew my motion.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Questions to the sponsor? Questions? None. But got a call for the, yes, we do. Yes, we do. Chairman Halsey,
Thank
you're
you.
recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just making sure I understand it. A police officer who generally works 20,000 or 2,080 hours a year is usually what comes down. If he worked that full year for those 2 years, then he gets 2,080 hours of credit, which would be another full year towards his retirement. Is that correct?
Chairman Russell?
That's correct. It'd be an hour for hour. So let's say that an officer works 12 hours a day. That would be 1.5 days added to their retirement for
Okay.
calculation purposes.
Chairman Halsey? Okay. All right. Further questions? See none. Got a call for the question. Let us vote. Those in favor of House Bill 1658 as amended, please say aye. Those opposed, like sign. Ayes have it. Very good. To Finance, Ways and Means, Chairman Russell, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Chairman and committee.
Okay, there he is. Chairman Reagan, get up there, buddy. Good to see you with us today. And Chairman Reagan is bringing to us item number 10, House Bill 2569. Now, yep, got it. We got a motion and a second. With that, Chairman, let's talk. We've got some amendments, an amendment or some amendments. Can you tell us what's applicable and what it maybe is not?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And yes, the story behind this amendment, one of your committee members had seen me earlier present this and had suggested I include disabilities into the bill, which I did, wrote an amendment to accomplish that. That created a lot of complexities, which increased the number of amendments I had, and then rolling them all together. I discussed it with him this morning, and the complexity of those amendments, he has agreed that we probably should not have that on the bill. So I'm not going to run the amendment.
You were okay. Now you were addressing, and to be for the record and be specific, you were those remarks were directed to what drafting code?
Drafting
Chairman?
code 15189, sir.
That's correct. That is correct. That's what we have. Okay. So, as it stands right now, what does the bill? Could you give us an explanation of the bill, please?
Yes, sir. Very happily. This bill essentially clarifies current law already. Essentially, with this bill, what I did was pull together various pieces of code that were in other places and put them together for the purposes of clarity and to make sure that we had a simple reference to it. Well, essentially, what it does is clarify that state, as used in this state of Tennessee, includes all political subdivisions thereof, public higher education systems, individual institutions governed in part, local education authority, public charter school, any other entity or instrumentality of the state of Tennessee that derives its authority from the state. That exists in other places in the code, scattered. This pulls it into one paragraph. The second paragraph is a verbatim copy from another portion of the code, which specifies that a state shall not discriminate against or grant preferential treatment to individual groups based on individuals' groups' race, sex, color, ethnicity, or national origin in the operation of any aspect of public employment, public education, or public contracting. Now, again, I did not include housing, which is in another section of the code, but this is designed to make this an easy reference, single spot for anybody that wants to look to see exactly what they're supposed to be doing. Subparagraph C of that bill makes an exception so that we're not stepping on the occupational qualifications that have sex as a necessary component of normal and efficient operation of public employment. It does not invalidate court orders, and it prohibits any action required to establish, maintain eligibility for any federal program or federally funded program where ineligibility would result of the loss of federal funds in a state. I will point out federally, Title I, Title IV, Title VII, Title VI, pardon me, Title IX. The issue here is that we want to make sure that this bill does not in any way impact our state agencies that are dependent on federal funding, which is a great many of them, by the way, that are part and parcel directed by these particular federal titles. The last portion of the bill also pulls from another section of the code. It allows or states rather that a person who's aggrieved by this can in fact have a private right of action. Now again, that private right of action exists elsewhere. This is just pulling it into one place. However, I will point out that this bill has a limit on it. The same private right of action exists under federal law. The limitation that I have put in this portion of it is, frankly, to be honest, if someone wants to sue, to encourage them to sue under federal law, because they'd get more that way and also be tougher hill for them to climb. With that explanation, I'm glad to address questions on this.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Chairman. Now, there has been members and amendments submitted by a committee member here, and that would be Representative Chisholm. And with that, we cannot, but we would require a second on this. Okay, we got a second. So with that, Representative Chisholm, would you please give us your drafting code for the record?
I am looking 014997.
That is correct, and you may proceed with an explanation of your amendment, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This amendment merely takes race out of the bill. With that, I renew my motion.
So okay. So you have had, members, you've got an explanation of the amendment by Representative Chisholm. Any questions? You've heard an explanation, as I say. Any questions to, yes, we do, of course. Well, no, we're on the amendment right now. We're only on the amendment, on Representative Chisholm's amendment. Questions to Representative Chisholm regarding his amendment? We've got it. Any questions? Yes, we do. Chairman Jernigan, you're recognized on the amendment.
Yeah, Representative Chisholm, I just want to make clear, you just want to take race out as a protected class, correct?
Representative Chisholm.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Further questions to that? Yes, we do. Yes. Speaker Marsh.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Representative Chisholm, what is your reasoning behind that?
Representative Chisholm.
The reasoning behind this, I want to keep race as a protected class because I have a little concern about piece of legislation undermining all of the advancements that we've done through affirmative action and other programs. And I wanted to make sure that we just keep race as one of those protected classes.
Okay, further question. I'm sorry, Speaker Marsh, back to you, sir. Any further follow-up? Okay. Further, we got a motion. Well, we've already got a motion and a second on the amendment. Is there now? But we're going to have to vote on this amendment. At this time, we will recognize Representative Reagan, Chairman Reagan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would point out that these groups that I've listed here, race, sex, color, ethnicity, national origin, were lifted straight out of Title IV, and taking it out of this bill does not take it out of Title IV. The purpose of this bill was to consolidate existing legislation, or pardon me, code into one place for convenience. If you remove this from this portion, that does not remove it from the other portion of the code that I lifted it from. So I'm at a loss to understand the rationale here.
Okay. Questions to follow up? Any further questions to the amendment sponsor? None? I've got a call. Yes, we got a call for the question. We're going to vote on the amendment now. On the amendment 014997. Those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, like sign. The noes have it, and the amendment fails. So with that, we are back to you, Chairman Reagan. Any closing remarks or what at this time, sir?
Thank you,
regarding
Mr.
this?
Chair. Basically, in closing, as I stated at the beginning, the purpose of this bill was to pull together that which is in existence in other portions of the code to first off, make it clear what a subsection or subunit of state government is, and that the prohibitions for discrimination apply to all subunits of state government and to the protected classes that are already mentioned in other portions of the code. With that explanation, sir, I ask for your support.
Very good. Got a call for the question? We do. No, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Representative Beck, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you. And now, I was just having a discussion with my colleague here. The way I understand this is related to contracting for anyone who has an interest derived from the state. Is that, am I paraphrasing that right?
Chairman Reagan.
Chairman Reagan.
Contracting is mentioned as public contracting, as is public employment and public education, sir.
Representative Beck, follow
Well,
up.
With contracting, have you made any provision for grandfathering in contracts that have already in place? In other words, are we infringing on contracts that are already in place and operating in the state?
Chairman Reagan.
That is not my intent. It's my understanding that the Tennessee Constitution does not permit that in any case.
Representative Beck.
That's correct. If you don't grandfather them in, we can't in any shape, form, or fashion interfere with present day contracts. And it seems like to me, if it was a contract that was let based upon race, sex, color, ethnicity, or national origin or disability, that this new language would interfere with that contract. Tell me if I'm wrong, or if we need to ask legal that
Chairman Reagan.
First off, disability is no longer included. Secondly, I think the Constitution is the supreme law of our state, and it would completely trump interference with an existing contract. From my perspective, sir, and I don't have your legal education, but a plain reading of the Constitution, from my perspective, says that this law cannot interfere with an existing contract, grandfathered or not.
At your request, Representative Beck, we'll be glad to go out of session.
Let's check
Yeah, of
with
course we
legal on
will.
that, please.
Yes, of course we will. But if no objection, we will. We're out of session, and we will turn our attention to our legal folks. Mr. Mundy, do you want to address that?
Thank you. Matt Mundy from Legal. I think there's a couple of principles to point out here and to answer that question. First of all, there's the overriding constitutional provision that prohibits the impediment of existing contracts. I'd also say that from a statutory construction standpoint, these bills operate prospectively instead of retroactively, unless we specify that they do. There's no specification of retroactivity in this particular bill, so I think that it would be operating prospectively in terms of contracts. There are existing provisions under public procurement laws dealing with small business procurements by minority-owned and women-owned businesses and so forth. And so I guess the question is, when you're looking at the existing statutes and this statute, if it passes, is there a conflict? And the answer is potentially yes. And how would a court resolve that? A court would typically try to look to see if both statutes could operate simultaneously. And I think in this case, my suspicion is that they would be able to.
Representative Beck.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if we had a provision that all present contracts were grandfathered in under this proposed legislation, there would absolutely be no question. Am I thinking right there?
Mr. Mundy.
Mr. Mundy?
Yes, Representative Beck, I would agree with that statement.
Very good. Thank you.
Representative Beck. Further follow-up? No. He says no. Chairman Jernigan, you recognize? Oh, okay. Not on this one. Okay. Any further questions to legal? while we're out of session? I see none. Okay, no objection. We are now back in session. To you, Chairman Jernigan. Did you have a question? Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me, Representative Beck. You're recognized.
So from what I just heard from legal, that would make this constitutionally suspect under the Tennessee Constitution.
Chairman Reagan, comment.
Sir, if I might disagree with you, that's not what I heard. I heard the Tennessee Constitution is the supreme law of the land. A bill that contradicts the Constitution is not operable. I further heard him say that the courts would address this and see if this bill, in concert with those that are already in place, could operate in parallel. If that's possible, this would not be unconstitutional, nor would it be in conflict with other portions of the law. Again, I don't have your legal education, but what I thought I heard was that right there.
Representative Beck.
The courts don't interpret unless somebody brings a lawsuit concerning this bill.
That's true.
So
Sir.
somebody's going to bring a lawsuit concerning the constitutionality of this bill, and it will from what I just heard, it will probably be that we are infringing on present contracts, and thus it would not be a constitutional bill.
Okay. For follow-up comment, Chairman.
Like I said, I don't have my colleague's legal background, but a plain reading, sir, of the Constitution would not prohibit that. I would not allow that. This bill could not interfere with an existing contract.
Okay. Yes, Representative Beck.
We're saying the same thing because this bill cannot interfere with a existing contract, makes it unconstitutional.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I have to have further explanation. How does this interfere with an existing contract?
Okay. All right. Let us move on to Chairman Jernigan. You're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. So it applies to public contracts. And so when I heard legal, just kind of popped in my head, minority-owned businesses and women-owned businesses. So moving forward, if this bill were to pass, a business owned by a woman would no longer get any kind of preferential treatment. For instance, if there's an RFP out, and typically they would get +5 points for being a woman-owned business. That would go away. Is that correct?
Chairman.
I would call your attention to subparagraph C of the bill. This section does not prohibit any bona fide occupational qualifications based on sex that are reasonably necessary for the normal and efficient operation of public employment, public education, or public contracting. And I would also refer to section 3, which says it does not prohibit action required to establish or maintain eligibility for any form of federal program or federally funded program where ineligibility would result in a loss of federal funds. And I specifically mentioned Title I, I think Title IV, Title VI, Title VII, and Title IX. If there are any sort of federal funding associated with that, and I believe all of them have some sort of federal funding associated, this bill would not impact that.
Right.
Chairman Jernigan.
Yeah, and I agree with that. These are state contracts that typically come before fiscal review. So then it would just affect minority businesses, correct?
Chairman Wright.
Mr. Chairman, I'm not sure I understand the question. In the interest of commanding or respecting the committee's time, I request to roll this and resolve these issues before next week.
Okay.
I can appreciate that, Chairman. And if there's no objections, we're going to allow you to roll that next week. Let us move on to, thank you, sir. Let us move on to item number 11, House Bill 1749. Got to have a motion and a second. We do. Got a motion and a second. Also, we have an amendment, do we not, Chairman?
Yes, sir. The amendment drafting code. Hang on just a second here. I show 15101.
That is correct. Thank you, sir. And there might have been a typo, members, on your mark calendar, if those of you that have one. So anyway, that is correct. That is correct. We have a motion and a second on. Let's get this on the bill. It rewrites it. Got a motion and a second. We do. Any questions to the sponsor on the amendment at this time? Not. Got a call for the question. Let us vote. Those in favor of Amendment 1015-101, please say aye. Opposed, like sign. The ayes have it. It is now, we now have that on your bill. Chairman Reagan, House Bill 1749.
Thank you,
You
Mr.
are recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This bill prohibits courts from deferring to state agencies' rule interpretation in lieu of judicial interpretation of the rules for UAPA, that's Uniform Administrative Procedures Act, contested cases. Essentially, what this bill does is it limits administrative agency power, which maximizes individual liberty. It levels the playing field for private entities. In other words, it scraps the notion that agencies get to interpret the rules of their own creation for the agency's own benefit. Deferring to agency interpretation of the law actually, in my opinion, violates the separation of powers. This amendment prohibits that. Essentially, let me back up and say in the case of appeals, because under the UAPA, there are several steps before it gets to a court. This bill is directed at court deference. Other states have already rejected deference. They include our neighboring states, Georgia, Florida, Arkansas, and 2 other states, Wisconsin and Arizona. This statute rules that appeals must be done, for my legal friends, de novo, which is the same evidence but without any reference to previous same case judgments. In other words, the courts will resolve any remaining ambiguity after they have done the normal interpretations without deference to the agency. And with that explanation, well, before
Thank you. Yes, go ahead.
Before I stand
Proceed.
for questions, let me
Yeah.
point out something here. This bill comes to us because of something called the Chevron doctrine, and a court case, Myers versus Yamamoto Kyogo Company, determined that state law interpretations should not defer to state agencies. So our sister states are actually leading us on this in terms of putting that provision in play. And with that explanation, sir, I stand ready to answer questions.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Questions to the sponsor? Any questions to the sponsor at this time? I'm sorry? Oh, okay,
Hang on,
sure.
yeah.
Chairman, can I apologize?
No,
You're
no worries.
recognized, sir.
So do courts currently now do they currently, I guess, adopt the Chevron doctrine? But is it written down, or is it that they're currently doing deference towards the agencies?
Chairman?
The answer to your question is straightforwardly that based on precedent, the answer is yes. They do defer to agency interpretation of the agency created rules. This bill is designed to say that we don't want the fox watching the hen house. The agency that created the rules and is in fact in charge of enforcing the rules doesn't get to interpret the rules the way they want to at the expense of someone who is contesting them.
Okay.
Chairman Jernigan.
I understand that, but the judge can't exercise. They automatically go to leaning towards the agency more than the individual, correct?
Chairman Reagan.
You are correct, sir.
Okay.
Chairman Jernigan.
Okay. No,
No,
thank you.
he says not. He's through. Okay. Chairman Halsey, you're recognized.
Thank you. I appreciate the bill. Instead of deferring to some former agreement on the rule, they would defer to what existing state law says. Is that correct?
That is
Chairman
correct.
Reagan.
Sorry. That is correct, sir. In other words, the judge is going to be the judge. He's going to rule on the basis of the law rather than agency interpretations.
Okay, very good. Chairman Halsey says it's over. Any further questions to the sponsor? No, I see none. Got a call for the question. We're ready to vote. Let us vote on House Bill 1749. Those in favor, as amended, those in favor, please say aye. Aye, and those opposed, like sign. Ayes have it, and please, no votes, please record with the clerk. Thank you. Motion, or the bill passes. And Chairman Reagan, you are on to calendar and rules, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Committee.
All right, thank you. Item number 12. Good to have Chairman Farmer with us today. Chairman Farmer, you are recognized on House Bill 2442, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. It's good to be here this afternoon with everyone. I believe I have an amendment, 11260. Does that sound right?
I have no amendment, Chairman.
Well, good.
You're good. You're
All right.
good to go.
Okay. I may have picked up the wrong folder, but I know I know what my bill does. That's good.
Yeah, 2442, law enforcement.
Yes, sir. Members and Mr. Chair, what this does allow for Tennessee to recruit and hire folks that are working towards their citizenship. So as long as you're a legal permanent resident, you have experience, you meet all the requirements through post, you can come in and be hired as a state trooper, law enforcement here in Tennessee. Evidently, something happened back in 2016, and I'm not for sure why this changed, but it said we changed the law to say that you had to be honorably discharged from the military in order to meet the requirements to be an officer here. So what this is just removing that language in order to open it back up so we can recruit and hire like we used to. So that's what this bill does.
Good explanation. Yes, we do. Representative Powell, you are recognized, sir.
I appreciate that. Actually, I'm the one that carried the bill that passed that back in 2016. So basically, we added this in as a concession. They required that you be honorably discharged from the United States Armed Forces, which I thought restricted it too much. So I'm glad to see we're coming back to expand it further so that we can recruit really good people who are here and working towards their citizenship to serve in law enforcement. So appreciate you carrying this bill.
Yeah, thank you. I concur. Thank you, Representative Powell. Further questions to the sponsor? I see none and I hear none, and we, I got a call for the question. Let us vote on House Bill 2442. Those in favor, please say aye. Opposed, like sign. Ayes have it. And Chairman, you are headed to calendar and rules, sir. Enjoy the ride.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, committee members.
Yes, sir. Okay, item number 13, House Bill 2613 by our beloved Chairman Faison. We've got a motion and a second, but the chairman is packing an amendment on this one. And Chairman, would you give us that drafting code, please?
Thank you. We will unpack.
Will you unpack,
the
please?
Amendment, Mr. Chairman. As I unpack this amendment, I find out that I have a drafting code of 014224.
Wonderful. Right on.
Unlike Representative Farmer, I brought the right bill.
Well, you sure did. We're really impressed with you today, sir. We got a motion and a second on the amendment. Any questions on the amendment to Chairman Faison? I see none, but we've got a call for the question too. Let's get it on. Those in favor of Amendment 1014224, please say aye. Opposed, like sign. Ayes have it. Chairman Faison, that amendment is now on your bill, and you may proceed with an explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and committee. Very good to be with you. This bill is brought by the Tennessee Coalition for Open Government. It simply clarifies that certain information regarding the deaths of inmates is subject to public records requests. This includes the person's name, the age, time, date of death, and the cause of death. And
that's that. Okay.
And the amendment writes the bill.
Got it. Gotcha. All right. Questions to Chairman Faison? Of course we do. Representative Beck, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you. Chairman, why do we want to invade the privacy of these people who've passed?
Chairman Faison.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Has he not had his allotment of questions for this committee today?
We promise we won't get into a running debate there, sponsor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Representative Beck, appreciate the question. I think what we're doing is making sure that when there is a death with somebody that's incarcerated, it's incumbent on the public, if there is a request, to know exactly what took place and the parameters of what did took place. God forbid that we have anybody behind bars that's treated incorrectly. But if you've been a representative very long, you've had emails, you've had questions, you've had concerns. And this is just to open it up a level of government, since the people are paying for these people to be housed and watched and guarded. Is if there is a death and somebody wants to be able to know why was there a death, they can find out the reason of the death.
Representative Beck, follow up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't know. It just if the person died of things he wouldn't want to be made public or she made public, such as AIDS or, or other communicable diseases. I mean, I just think it's kind of an invasion of their privacy. I do understand what you're getting at. If there was something, that was, ill afoot, so to speak. But it just seems like that's just things that, the person may not have wanted the whole world to know. And we're invading their privacy even after they're gone for what I don't know. So there you go.
Okay, very good. All right. Any further questions to this point? Yes, we do. Representative Cooper, you're recognized. Get her a mic. Somebody can scoot her a mic over there. Oh, okay. Do your best, Representative Cooper. I'm not asking you to shout out, but just do your best.
I can.
Okay. Well, honey, don't. Wait a minute.
I got it. I was just thinking that a family member might want to know about a death. And I thought I heard you say that it's upon request, only upon request.
Yes, ma'am.
Chairman Faison.
That is correct, Mr. Chairman, Representative.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Representative Cooper. Thank you. Further questions to the sponsor? Got a call for the question. Let us vote on House Bill 2613 as amended. Those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, like sign. Ayes have it. We've got no to the clerk, so please be on the, yes, he acknowledges that. You are on the record. All right, thank you, by the way, thank you. And, oh, by the way, I'm sorry, Chairman, you look at me, you are going to calendar and rules, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, coming in from the west side today is Chairman Curcio. Chairman Curcio is carrying item number 14, House Bill 1402. We have a motion and a second, but we also, you're bringing in with you, Chairman, an amendment. Would you please give us the drafting code?
Yes, sir. I'd be happy to do that. The amendment drafting code that I wish to move is 14439.
Wonderful. Got a motion and a second. Questions to the sponsor on the amendment? Let's get it on the bill. Got a
Thank you,
call
Mr.
for the
Chairman.
question. Let us vote on amendment 1144439. I'll repeat, 014439. Those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, like sign.
Thank you,
Ayes
Mr.
have
Chairman.
it. And Chairman Curcio, that amendment is now on your bill, and we are looking to you for an explanation, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, committee members. Two parts to this. Section 1 just clarifies that parties to litigation are permitted to obtain open records through the normal discovery process. So while you're in litigation, we just want folks inside discovery seeking these records. If you're not in litigation, you can just go through the normal open records process. This just kind of clarifies that during litigation, you need to stay within the discovery process. Section 2, local government. And by the way, this bill and the one after it were both brought to me by my county attorney. So this is brought to me on behalf of Dixon County. Governmental entities are increasingly receiving and having to respond to requests for public records inquiries, but they're coming from folks that are out of state who are otherwise ineligible to seek those documents. So they'll find somebody locally and say, hey, will you call down and request this for me and then pass it on to me? This section won't solve that by any means, but it would allow the governmental entity, if they wanted to ask the person, or hey, are you requesting this just for yourself, or are you doing this for a third party that's out of the state? Again, I don't know how binding it will be, but at least give them a way to kind of double check that.
Good explanation, sir. Questions to the sponsor? All right, I see none. Don't see any movement among you all, but I do have a call for the question. So let us vote on House Bill 1402 as amended. Those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, like sign. Ayes have it. And all right, you are headed to calendar and rules, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee.
Stay put, because you are coming in at item number 15, House Bill 1760. And it, sir, we got a motion. Yes, we do. We got a motion and a second, but it's coming in with an amendment as well. And its drafting code is
14286.
excellent. Good job. All right. Do we have a motion and a second on the amendment since it clarifies the bill? Okay, we got a motion and a second. Call for the question. Let's vote. Let's get this amendment on the bill 014286. Those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, like sign. It goes on. And you now, Chairman, are recognized on House Bill 1760.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee. Again, this was brought to me by the Dixon County Attorney, and this was in response. They were receiving a request from a law enforcement officer last year instructing the county to redact information about property ownership in the county using subsection F as the basis, but the officer was not and has not been employed by the county. So subsection F in this section of code is really meant to pertain to employees of that entity, not a law enforcement or an employee from another state or another jurisdiction. So this is just some clarifying language to clarify the intent of the General Assembly.
Good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All
Oh,
right.
and
You've
I'm
heard
sorry,
an explanation. Oh, I'm sorry.
If you
Yes,
wouldn't
sir.
mind, I
You're
just want to
recognized.
add, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate your indulgence. This language was proposed by the Department of Safety and the Department of Human Resources.
Gotcha.
So we've been
Okay.
working with state agencies on this.
Very good. Yes, we do. We have a request. Chairman Halsey, you're recognized, sir.
I was just confirming this information is hidden unless you die in jail.
Sure. That sounds a little, it sounds as a rhetorical question there, Chairman. Sponsor. Okay. All right. All right. Further questions to the sponsor? I see none. Got a call for the question. Let us vote. Those in favor of House Bill 1760 as amended, please say aye. Those opposed, like sign. Ayes have it. And Chairman, you are now headed to calendar and rules. And before you leave, we just want to extend our thanks and appreciation to you as Chairman of Criminal Justice. Bless your heart. You are just smothered under, and we do appreciate you all. Are very busy over there. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. I'm going to come back here next week when I need to feel better. I'm going to come back and I appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Seriously, we mean that. Yes, thank you, sir.
Have a great
Okay. Item number 16, Chairman Rudd has been patiently awaiting his moment in the sun with House Bill 2864. Got a motion and a second, and it is carrying an amendment. And with that, Chairman Rudd, would you give us that drafting code,
We
please?
attached 15307.
Wonderful. That is correct. Let's all right. Let's get a motion in a second. We do on the amendment. All right. Question on amendment to the sponsor. If not, let's get a call for the question, and we have it. Let us vote on amendment 015307. Those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, like sign. Ayes have it. Chairman Rudd, your amendment is now on the bill. And you are recognized on 2864.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman Committee. This bill updates Section 108 of the Open Meetings Act pertaining to the governing body meetings that are held using electronic means. Section 108 allows members of state boards and commissions and emergency communication boards to meet using electronic means. This part of the code was not established until 1990 and has been updated through the years, but it has never been updated to require the boards to allow its members to participate using electronic means. It also allows the public to view and listen through electronic means. So in many ways, this is a cleanup bill. Technology has gotten ahead of our ability to meet.
Well said. That's the bottom line, isn't it? Okay. Questions to the sponsor? All right. See none, got a call for the question. Let's vote. Those in favor of House Bill 2864 as amended, please say aye. Those opposed, like sign. Ayes have it.
Thank you.
And thank you, Chairman Rudd. You, excuse me, you are headed to calendar and rules. Okay, got a late breaking update here, members. Your attention to item number 18, House Bill 2222 has been is requested to be rolled 1 week. 1 week. So we're going to head down toward the bottom of the calendar to item. We're going to take you down to item as we close out this session. Today's committee, we're going to address item number 23, House Bill 2419. And Representative Miss, we're going to ask you to come forward, please, sir.
Motion.
And that we got a motion and a second. With that, Representative Manis, I see, wait a minute. We have an amendment, don't we? Got a motion and a second, and we also got an amendment. Would you please give us that drafting code,
It is-
Representative?
Yes, sir. Thank you. 15013.
That is correct. Thank
Motion
you.
on amendment.
All right, we got a motion and a second on that amendment. Questions to the sponsor? None? Got a call for the question on the amendment 015013. Let's get it on. Those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, like sign. Amendment is now on the bill. Representative Manis, you're up. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, committee. This is brought to me on behalf of our local restaurant owners across the state. And this legislation is an effort to ask TASR to do a comprehensive look at the issues facing our local restaurants. Very quickly, I just want to bring some important facts to your, I'll make you aware of these important facts. Restaurants and drinking places account for 8.9% of all employment in Tennessee. An estimated 76% of eateries in Tennessee are independently owned and small business. 9 out of 10 restaurants have fewer than 50 employees. 7 out of 10 restaurants are single unit operations. 8 out of 10 restaurant owners started their industry careers in entry-level positions. And 9 out of 10 restaurant managers started in entry-level positions. We're asking TASR to study the following issues: Tennessee's liquor by the drink taxes and how they compare to surrounding states. Also study staffing challenges specifically related to the restaurant industry, studying permit costs, other costs related to training necessary to operate a local restaurant, and study other possible barriers and challenges to the restaurant business and how the state could help minimize those barriers. Mr. Chairman, I'll try and answer any additional questions the committee may have.
Absolutely. Thank you for that explanation. And let us draw our attention to Representative Powell. You are recognized, sir.
Thank you. And just, I didn't hear one thing that I think was very popular. I know, at least in my district, helped a lot of restaurants get by during the pandemic, was liquor by the drink and drinks to go. Is that included in this?
That would be
Representative Mans.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, that would probably be something that we would ask TASR to look at.
Representative Powell, follow up.
So just your intent is within that would maybe be a policy that they would look at as well about doing that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Representative Powell. I thought we had, is there anyone else? Any further questions to the sponsor? See none. Got a call for the question? We do. And let us now vote on House Bill 2419 as amended. Those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, like sign. Ayes have it. That passes as successful, and it's going to Finance, Ways and Means. Representative Manis, and you are item also number 24 with House Bill 2551. No amendments, members. With that, Representative Manis, you're recognized. Got a motion and a second, Representative.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, committee. This was brought to me by the City of Knoxville Purchasing Department on behalf of the Tennessee Association of Public Purchasing. And it's in reference to TCA 12-3-1207H. And it's just adjusting the existing language. The existing language does not explicitly allow local governments to conduct oral and/or written interviews, presentations, and/or demonstrations with proposers, but they can only have discussions. Some local government attorneys, in order to comply with the existing language, have opined that their local governments cannot conduct interviews, presentations, and/or demonstrations, but again, only discussions. This places those governments at a very severe disadvantage when conducting the request for competitive sealed proposals, and this greatly limits their abilities to fully understand the qualifications of their submitter. This slight edit clarifies that local governments may negotiate, discuss, and interview so that the RFP process can be used to its maximum. This enables local governments to continue to provide effective and efficient local government operations when they use the RFP process.
Okay, very good.
Questions.
Good explanation. Any questions to the sponsor? I see none. No one's moving. We got a call for the question though. Yes, we do. So let us vote for House Bill 2551. Those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, like sign. Ayes have it. And Chairman, thank you for being with us today. You are riding out into the sunset to calendar and rules, sir.
Thank you, Mr.
And we
Chair.
are going to
Thank you, committee.
close. Thank you, sir, for being here. We're going to close out this this session with attention on item number 25, House Bill 2589. And well, Chair Lady Littleton, you were recognized on House Bill 2589, and we got a motion and a second, and that you got an amendment. And if you would, please give us that drafting code. I'm sure you can.
It's 15407.
That is correct. So it does rewrite the bill. Let's get that on the bill. We've got a motion and a second. Call for the question on this. So let us vote on Amendment 15407. Those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, like sign. That amendment is now on the bill, House Bill 2589. Chair Lady, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As amended, this bill says that the Jerry F. Agee Tennessee Law Enforcement Academy, the Tennessee Peace Officers Standards, and the Training Commission and the Department of Children's Services shall work together in developing ways to inform and instruct appropriate local law enforcement personnel in the detection of child abuse and child sexual abuse, and in the proper action that should be taken in a suspected case of child abuse or child sexual abuse.
Very good. All right, you have heard an explanation of the bill as amended, and attention is to you. Chairman Hulsey, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I just wanted to clarify, the Post Commission already requires in police officers 40 hours in service training every year that they go through child sexual abuse, how to investigate it, looking out for signs of it. Is the only difference in this is that they're going to hook up with children's services to develop better programs? Is that what we're doing?
Chair Lady, you're recognized.
That is correct. And to add just regular child abuse, not regular, but child abuse itself.
Okay.
Chairman Hulsey, follow up.
Thank you.
No, he says not. Further questions to the sponsor? All right, I've got a call for the question, Chair Lady, on you. So let us vote. Those in favor, please. Those in favor of House Bill, what is that House Bill? 2589 is amended. Those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, like sign. The ayes have it.
Thank you, Mr.
And
Chairman.
thank you. You're going to calendar and rules. Whoa, 3 minutes remaining. Representative Miller, I can't get you both of yours today, but do you want to get one of them out of the way, sir? Got a motion and a second. We're going to item number 21 with no amendments. That's House Bill 2694, members. 2694, Chair Representative Miller, great to have you with us. You're recognized, sir. Get that mic on or scoot up. I don't.
Yes,
There
thank
you
you.
go.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This
Yes.
bill will require the Office of Diversity Business Enterprises to publish an annual report listing each state department's aspirational goals and achievements for businesses owned by veterans, disabled individuals, women, and minorities. It's just simply to give a report.
Give a
and publish
report.
that on the website.
Okay, very good. All right, it's requesting a report. All right, any questions to Representative Miller? All right, we've got already got the motion and a second. Got a call for the question. Representative Miller, we're going to vote on this one. This is House Bill 2694. Those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, like sign. The ayes have it.
Thank you,
And
Mr.
thank
Chairman,
you,
members of the
Representative
committee.
Representative Miller. You're on to calendar and rules. With that, members, I'm going to, if there's no further, wait a minute, all remaining bills, please note, all remaining bills will be rolled now to the next calendar. And we're looking forward to it because that will probably be our last. So we'll try to have all kinds of refreshments and dinner being served at our next. No, I'm just kidding. Give me a motion for adjournment. Need a second. All right. We're adjourned.